Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking about the sodium cyanide spill that's happened today in the UK. We're also going to touch briefly on the new global emergency that the World Health Organization have declared. Firstly, before we go on, guys, I just want to reiterate a few of the things I've said previously on this channel. Now, the reason I'm talking about these again and I'm bringing them up, and it sounds like I'm rehashing old things, it's because of the severity of the situation now as we're moving forwards. Now, obviously, unless you're living under a cave in the United Kingdom, you know there's been a huge cyanide spill in a river, in a canal in Walsall, which is, West Midlands. Now, I always say on this channel, how many times have I highlighted it? In fact, I will link the video at the end of this where I highlight the UK's waterways, the UK's water, the UK's industry, the UK's soft targets, and I give 10 sabotage targets that will be highlighted, that will be attacked as we move closer to these global war conflicts. Now, right up there at number 2, I had the waterways. The waterways are so vulnerable. They are so vulnerable, guys, okay, in so many different ways. Now, I'm not saying that this is a sabotage attack. I'm saying we don't know. From what I understand at the moment, it's looking like, well, we don't know, guys, right? That's the reality of the situation, and that's the reality of sabotage as well. I do think it's suspicious that the company that is involved in this spill, as I understand it at the time of making this video, they've not made any public announcements, and they can't, they've not mentioned anything, and they're kind of keeping stum. Also, what I think's kind of suspicious is the downplaying of this, because as I understand, cyanide was a pretty harsh, it's a pretty harsh poison. Now, so what do we know about it, guys? Well, let me quickly share this with you. Where are we? Okay, so here we've got this article, guys. Source of canal sodium cyanide spill identified. So it took me quite a while to do a video because I wanted to find out where this spill came from, because early on there was no information on where this spill came from, and I was searching everywhere trying to find out where this came from. But if you look from this article here, guys, the source of the toxic chemical spill affecting a 12-mile stretch of canals in the West Midlands has been identified. Now, I don't know how the spill can only affect 12 miles. When that cyanide's in the water, when it gets to 12 miles, does it say, right, let's stop here, lads, let's not go any further? No, I don't know. I don't know how that's happened. As far as I'm concerned, if something's in the water and it's moving, then, I'd say it's a lot more than that. But, that's just me speculating. Anyway, a toxic source of chemical spillage affecting 12-mile stretch of canals in the West Midlands has been identified. The Environment Agency said the sodium cyanide that spilled into the Walsall waterway on Tuesday came from Anochrome Limited, a firm which deals in surface coatings and sealings. So I did a quick search for this. Let me come out of that one, guys. So I did a quick search for this company, and I found what they were. Hang on, let me share this with you guys. Where are we? Hang on. There we are. So I found the company. Now, this may not be the company. I'm not saying it is the company. I'm saying it shares the same name and it's in that location. And I'll show you where it is geographically on the map. Now, the reason I'm showing you this article here, guys, is just because of what it says here. It talks about the company, and then it says, we also look to minimize our environmental impact where possible. So, they're claiming that they've got good procedures and good policies to protect against these things happening. Now, obviously, from what we've seen, those measures must have either been bypassed or failed. Now, knowing what I know from the UK legislation, UK laws, all the rest of it, if these companies want to get their accreditation to be able to operate in the United Kingdom, they have to pass so many certain checks, certain balances to make sure that company is safe. Now, to me, it seems unlikely that a company those balances would have failed. But again, I don't know. I'm just speculating. I don't know what's happening. I just think it's a little bit. It's very suspicious with all that's going on in the world at the moment, and especially all the things I keep saying about the water sources in the United Kingdom, sabotage in the United Kingdom. Look at the climate in the United Kingdom at the moment. So I gave this a little search again, guys. I went online and gave it a little search to see what I could find, and I found the company and where that's located. So that's the company there, Anochrome Limited Technologies. So that would be right where they said it would, on this waterway here. So that's the waterway that I assume is being affected, and that's the company. So you can see it's right on that canal there. I then looked in further. So let's put the little man down. And there's nothing really you can say about this company other than it is what it is. There's nothing around this area that says to me there's no military there's no military applications that are overlay protruding. So the reality is we genuinely don't know what this could be. Now, what I will say, and 100%, it is not beyond the realms of possibility for a disgruntled worker who's working there. They've been working there, a couple of months, a couple of years, whatever, to have alliances to whoever. They understand that this company is operating within a couple of meters from a major canal route. And then, it's not beyond the realms of possibility. And guys, this is me speculating like a speculating speculator. I'm just saying that people can do sabotage, and this is what happens. You find a target, you identify a weak spot, and then you exploit that weak spot. Now, if we see more of these things happening in the coming weeks, in the coming months, we'll know that these are sabotage attacks. But let's just look, over the last year, how many not cyber attacks, but how many times have banking apps gone down, have mobile phone networks gone down, have social media apps gone down? And obviously, none of these companies are ever going to admit it's been a cyber attack because they'll lose too much money. Now, like I said at the beginning of this video, it's really suspicious to me that this company's not come out and said, hey guys, yeah, it was us. We have done a spill. It was X, Y, and Z. We've now rectified it. This amount of the chemical was put into the waterways, and this is what we've done to stop this happening again. We hold our hands up, and it's our fault. However, as of the time of making this video, we've not heard anything from them, so that's kind of giving me the suspicion, and again, not suspicion, but it's making me ask and question why this has not happened. Maybe these guys are on holiday, like I said. All this cauldron of chaos when in the summer holidays, people are on holiday, people's kids are off school. It could just be something as benign as the managing director is away, nobody can get in touch with him because he's really rich and he's decided to go, I don't know, skiing over the Alps, and he hasn't got a signal on his phone, and he's the only one, as per their policy, he's the only one who can make an official statement, or she. So, there's a lot of different dynamics to this situation. But what I can say 100% is the UK water sources, the UK water supply is ridiculously vulnerable to sabotage. This is one of the things that I said could happen. I said somebody could pour chemicals into a water supply, into a reservoir, which would be even worse. But you know what? Why bother with a reservoir when you've got, a company that has vast amounts of cyanide that's right on a canal? It would make a lot of sense just to do that from source, because then you don't have to move large quantities of your chemical around. Quickly as well, there's a few discrepancies over the use of cyanide and what it actually is. So I had a little wiki search. So I'll put all these links in the description, guys. So sodium cyanide, that's it. Sodium cyanide, like other soluble cyanide salts, is among the most rapidly acting of all known poisons. It does not say anything like that, guys, on the newspaper reports. Nothing at all. NaCN, which is the chemical formula for the the chemicals, sodium cyanide, is a potent inhibitor of respiration, acting on mitochondrial, guys, there's words here that I cannot pronounce, okay? Mitochondrial cytochrome oxidase. So, okay, yeah, so that's basically, you know, I'll let you read it yourselves, and hence blocking electron transport. This results in decreasation of oxidative metabolism and oxygen utilization. Lactic acid then occurs as a consequence of anaerobic metabolism. And here's the important bit, guys. An oral dosage as small as 200 to 300 milligrams can be fatal. It doesn't say anything like that on the mainstream media. You know, all it says is it can cause seizures and like headaches or something. But then if you look at the wiki page, it's totally wrong, guys. And I'm not saying either one of these are right, and I'm not saying either one of these are wrong. I'm saying they are contradicting. I'll put the links there for you guys to look at yourself. So that's kind of what's been happening there. It's something I've been warning her for a long time. I knew this was coming. And guys, you know, I keep reiterating this. Make sure you've got 3 days water, as a minimum 3 days water for you and your family. Work on 3 liters of water per person per day. It just makes sense to have that in your house. It doesn't take up that much room. Now, can you imagine if you lived in and around that Warsaw area, if you lived in and around that company, and all this is on the news? Do you really trust the water companies? Look at the history of the water companies in the United Kingdom. 15% of the water companies, we don't know who owns them. You know, and I've done lots of videos about the state of the UK water companies. Now, if you lived in that area, do you trust those companies? Right now, wherever you live, and again, this goes wherever people live in the world, wherever you live, do you know each and every company that is operating in and around your water sources? Do you know what chemicals they have and they use on a regular daily basis? No, of course not. Nobody does. So this is why it's really important, guys, okay? Just get yourselves 3 days water. Like I said, imagine if you lived in that area now, and you know you've got the Environment Agency coming out saying, "Oh yeah, the water's fine to drink. Don't worry." Remember, guys, okay? The water companies were telling us to drink poo in our water like a couple of months ago. So I kind of don't trust them. That's just my personal bias from them making us drink poo and telling us to boil it. But let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Oh, you know, make sure you get 3 days water if you can. If not, go with 2 days. If not, go with a day. Have something, because when emergencies like this happen, imagine everybody now rushing to the shops in that local area to buy water, to buy fluids, to buy everything for their family. And once these things happen, once these things escalate, you get the Karen factor, you get the toilet roll factor, and you get everybody having mass hysteria. And if you've already got your 3 days water in your house, you can sit back pretty because you're already prepared. Now, I'm just going to touch briefly on this World Health Organization. So World Health Organization, well, let me share this actually. So last week I did a video about the spread of monkeypox. Now, you know, I'll link it to the end of this video, so it'll be up there somewhere. World Health Organization declares global emergency over new monkeypox outbreak. The epidemic is concentrated in the Democratic Republic of Congo, but the virus has now appeared to spread in a dozen other African countries. Now, there's nothing we didn't mention in our previous video, guys, apart from one slight addition to this. And it's not really far. We don't really have to go far down to, we don't really have to go far. In fact, I've totally missed the point. Here we are. Now, the threat this time is deadlier. Since the beginning of this year, the Democratic Republic of Congo alone has reported more than 14,000 monkeypox cases and 524 deaths. Those most at risk include women and children under 15. So that's a new dimension that's been put into this monkeypox outbreak that wasn't mentioned before. So it's come out now. The World Health Organization are declaring. Well, I'll just read it again, so I don't get it wrong and I don't get told off for fake news. World Health Organization declares global emergency over new monkeypox outbreak. So you've heard it there, guys. Now, if they're declaring it, that means that it is going to spread. Obviously, in the United Kingdom, in the US, in Europe, wherever you are, these outbreaks, they're very contagious. So they do spread. And as we've seen over recent years, once they start to spread, it becomes exponential. And then, we can start to look at crazy things that may or may not be happening. Guys, we really do have a lot going on in this cauldron of the cauldron of chaos at the moment, and it is absolutely wild times. Guys, I'm gonna mag to grid there. Unless there's any more breaking news later on today, I'm gonna leave it there. I'll give you guys a video in the morning and see what's been happening. But guys, please just remember, make sure you've got a minimum of 3 liters per person per day in your house, and that you've got enough water to last for 3 days. Because look what's happening. The water supply in the United Kingdom, it's not safe. And I'm going to say as well, I don't think even with the vast amounts of, what's the word I'm looking for? Piracy by the water companies, even with this non-investment, the water supply is ridiculously vulnerable anyway. So that if you're in the United States, if you're in Europe, if you're anywhere, these water pipes that transport water, it's kind of the stuff of life. These water pipes are really vulnerable. Anybody can walk up to these pipes. Anybody can walk up to them with a still saw. Anybody can either cut them, pour chemicals in, sabotage pumps, sabotage sewage, all sorts of stuff, guys. All right. And as we've seen in France, we know these things can be done in a coordinated manner, where they use coordinated sabotage. And guys, I'm not saying that this is sabotage. I'm saying we don't know. More information will come out, and we'll see what happens. But the reality is, we just don't know, and it's always good practice for you guys just to have 3 days of water in your home. Of course, more is better, less if you can't get it. But make sure you've got that in your home, guys, right? Because if you live in one of these areas now, you're gonna really wish you had a lot of bottled water. Just because you wouldn't trust the water company. And again, there's the discrepancies there between the what's come out on mainstream media and what we've just done a quick search online, and we found that the signs and symptoms for sodium cyanide again? Yeah, sodium cyanide are different to the ones that mainstream media are reporting. Guys, that is it. I'm going to mag to grid. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like and share my stuff and add me on the other platforms. Guys, I'll speak to you soon. See you later.